Great Ugoni people, great. Today I want to talk on the topic UNEP report implementation and matters arising. Over a few days ago, the House of Representatives and the High Prep board members, they met, and at the end of the meeting there were allegations or whatsoever that so far 316 million US dollars has been given to High Prep, and it sparked uproar in Ogoniland because many were saying they haven't seen anything that High Prep has done in Ogoniland, and such huge amount of money has gone. So there were debates, it has been used, it has not been used, it is in their coffers, and all sorts of things. So I want to delve into it and bring out some critical facts. But before I do that, I want you to mark two things. I'm going to say two things. It will stand as the bedrock of everything I'm going to say here today. Number one, they said that if you want to hide something from a black man, you put it in a book. That is proven over the years. And I am saying that if you give a roadmap to a white man, he will follow the roadmap and get to his destination. But if you give it to the black man, most of the black men, if you give it to them, they will create their own external routes in addition to the one that has been given. They will follow their own route and they will get stuck somewhere, and at the end of the day they will come back to blame people. They will never follow the original roadmap that was given to them. They will create some artificial, something to just to attach with it. And at the end of the day, they will look for someone to blame. So mark those two things. Now, let's go into it. If you read the summary or the executive summary of the recommendations in the UNEP report, you will discover that, one, let me just itemize it very fast because of time. One, it talks about Ogoni Environmental Restoration Authority, that should be created. So this High Prep you see, it was supposed to be Ogoni Environmental Restoration Authority. So mark that. Number two, an initial capital of 1 billion US dollars should be injected into the project. That doesn't mean that is the total amount of money that is going to take. But they said that the government or the other partners shouldn't be afraid of the huge amount of money it will take. So they can start with 1 billion US dollars. Number three, they said it's going to take about 25 to 30 years to complete cleanup in Ogoniland. Now, they talk about before you clean the creek, you must first of all clean the land before you talk of cleaning the creeks. There are many things they said there. Now, they talked about operational recommendation also, where they said the artisanal refinery that is going on in Ogoniland and those kind of a thing, that it must be put to an end. It must be stopped, because if they don't stop it, when they clean the land, those doing those artisanal thing, leaks will also come and it will destroy everything. So they talked about that. It is very, very important. It must be put to an end. Again, they also talked about the kind of creating job opportunities for those artisanals, those who are into those things. You must find a way. The government should be the people, and everybody should be able to go on mass campaign for them to stop that. And it is not by force, but you must put an alternative. You must put something for them to follow. You must give them something in place of that, because it has been like a source of livelihood to them. So you must give them something. You must create some jobs, and all this will come out of this money that has been earmarked for the cleanup. So you must tell them the kind of training, the kind of employment incentives that they will have. So you must give them something to motivate them so that they can stop the illegal refining of oil. Now, there is also the technical recommendation, and one basic thing I will pick from there, because there are many, so that I will just pick one important thing. It talks about a proposed integrated contaminated soil management center, which is he said it will serve as a modern industrial enterprise in Ogoni land, employing hundreds of people. Now, it's so that will be like the center of excellence and every other thing they talked about. Then, apart from that, they will also have mini centers on site. But this integrated contaminated soil center, that one will serve as a fulcrum, like a pivot to those other mini things on site. That's a lot, but I can't finish up. So now it talks about public health recommendation. The public health, it talks about those, they should be able to treat some people. Doctors should examine them to see those that have been affected by the hydrocarbon. It talks about that. It talks about cleaning water for people to drink. You must give alternative source of water for people to drink before anything you're talking about. There are a lot of things that has been talked about here. So it also talked about, that is under the recommendation for government. He said the environmental restoration fund for Ogoni should be set up with an initial, okay, we've talked about that, 1 billion this year. It talked about recommendation for the Ogoni community. He said the Ogoni community should take full advantage of the employment, skill, development, and other opportunities that will be created by the clean-up operation, which is aimed at improving their living conditions and livelihood. There's a lot, but we can't finish. Now, if you look at these points I have mentioned here, now let's begin to look at it. First, I will also want to say, I do not have any doubt in the project coordinator, Marvin Dickey, or whatsoever. I don't have anything against him. I don't have any doubts about his capabilities or competencies. No. But where we are today, I've talked about this before, and I said, the position you've given to this man shouldn't have been the project coordinator. He should have been the assistant project coordinator. My reasons was this. If you give this man, will this man be able to stand boldly and say no when the power that be will want to dip their hands? That is where I had my reservations. That is where I had my reservation about him being the project coordinator. My position was, we should look for an external body, not even in Nigeria, an external body in the UN. Those who have done these clean-up exercises in other parts of the world, we should look for an external body. Someone that would not take shit, that would not bow to the pressures from the Nigerian government to be the head. Then Marvin can assist in being the assistant. So that Marvin will also be learning and be tapping a lot from him. But this man will be able to, he will know that he's representing not only Ogoni people, but he's representing the world on this board. So that when the Nigerian government tries to play their gamble, he will be bold enough to say no. I want to say something. If the UNEP report, if it was given completely to Nigerians to handle it, they will still be on 80 days, and all the money that was spent, we won't see anything. There won't be any report. But because UN was involved, that is why we're able to get this report. So let's go back to all that was earmarked here for them to put in place before they clean up. I said it that the Ogoni Environmental Restoration Authority should be what we should have instead of this high prep. They said no. According to information then, they said the government of Buhari told them, if you want the Ogoni Environmental Restoration this thing, you have to go through the Senate or the blah 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 blah. You have to go through the Senate, go through all those bureaucracies, and it will take time before they will approve it. So if you want it fast, you just go on with high prep. And quickly they jump at high prep because they don't want to go through bureaucracies and other things in the Senate. But if I were the one in that place, I will go for Ogoni Restoration Authority. I will go for that. Do you know why I will go for that? When we go to the Senate, that will show you if the government is serious about it. Because if the government is serious about it, it won't take much time for that to be approved in the Senate. So it will clearly show you if the government is serious about this UNEP report implementation. So you don't just jump at things. When you are negotiating, you don't jump at the first offer. You take time so that you can get what is tangible for your people, not because of you. But that mistake has been made. And from that point, you can now see where it has taken us to. Because today, the blame is beginning to come. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. But if it has been Ogoni Restoration Authority, Environmental Restoration Authority, we would have known that, okay, this is Ogoni. We know the kind of people we want on board. Because we know how things are being done in this part of the world. In Africa, everything is manipulated. So we will have looked for people that can't be manipulated on board so that they can oversee this thing for us and ensure that quality work is done in Ogoni land. I also want to say that even some of the companies that are cleaning up the land, it's a shame that some people that even bidded for the contract to clean up Ogoni, they were selling shoes. They were into agricultural product, exporting out, selling things. They have no experience of cleaning, of cleanup. Some of the companies that are on board now, can they prove to us where they've cleaned before? You go and make research. Go and ask them, where have they cleaned before? Do they have that history, that experience? Or they want to use Ogoni land as a testing ground? So my suggestion was, we should look for a competent foreign company that has cleaned up in other parts of the world. And then they will sign a contract with us. And then our local companies that also have tried or done one or two things that also want to do, can now merge with them. There will be a partnership. So that this company will now say, okay, it is said that it will take about 25 to 30 years for cleanup to take place completely. Okay, the foreign companies, you will be on board for 10 years. While you will be on board for 10 years, you will employ our local companies to do the work. So you will oversee, you will just be an overseer of what is going on. So that our people can tap knowledge from it. And when your 10 years has expired, you will now have to leave, and our local companies will continue and complete the project. In that case, we will have a quality cleanup. It is not all about money. But when you are doing something, do what is authentic. It should be quality. Now, but we've passed that stage and we are already in the ditch. We are already in it. Now, when you look at that, what has they done so far? What have they done so far? Have they been able to stop the artisanal manufacturing that is going on or mining that is going on? Have they stopped that? No, they haven't stopped it. Government is involved in those things. Politicians are involved in those things. They know it. because they are benefiting from it, so they cannot stop it completely. But on the surface, they are playing games with the people. So these are what we are talking about. None of these things has been done. Now, the proposed integrated contaminated soil center has not been built. So tell us, how can you clean up when the major things that are supposed to be done have not been done? How can you clean up? That would have served as a fulcrum, a pivot to other smaller cleaning centers you have on site. So how are you cleaning up Ogoniland? How? How are you cleaning up Ogoniland when none of these things has been done? I don't want to go back. If you look at everything which points which I brought out here, none has been done. Okay, what alternative livelihood programs have you given to the people for them to benefit? What training have you given to them so that they can stop the illegal mining? Have you provided the alternative water for the people, pipe-borne water for people to drink in Ogoni communities? Have you done that? Nothing has been done. Look, I don't have point with Dr. Marvin. I don't have problem with him. The little problem I will have with him is I knew from the beginning that he would not be bold enough to say no, because let me tell you, there are monkey hands. There are unforeseen, unseen hands behind. And when they rope him, he won't have the gut to say no. So they will first of all see how they can manipulate and rope him in. And when he's in, he will dent his name. And if he wants to open his mouth, he will tell you, hey, you are also part of it. And that is why Ogoni is suffering today. So from all this, I can draw my own conclusion, and I can say that the UNEP report implementation is the sham, a charade. Nothing is going on. The government knew this, and that is why they started the manipulation from the beginning. They throw it like a bait to them. Oh, you forget about Ogoni Environmental Restoration Authority, and you take high prep. It was a bait, and our people grabbed it, and today it has hooked us. When shall we stop to become victims? Because if the government was serious from the onset, they will follow detailed recommendations. You see, why I said that if you give a white man a roadmap, he will follow it. It's because they will follow it to get to their destination. But the black man will also want to create external route. That is what we've done. Instead of us to follow step by step what the UNEP, the experts, recommended, we created our own ways. Can you see where we are today? So look into the eyes of Ogoni people and tell them that cleanup is going on, because posterity will remember you. Posterity will never forget you. So what I'm saying is this: our brother Marvin is already into it. The best he can do is to come out boldly like an Ogoni man and tell the world the truth, because he has been hooked here, and it's like there's no escape route for him. When the centers has not been created, when the major things you are supposed to put in place, okay, they said start with 1 billion. They started giving you 10 million. How many million? And the total is 360 million. So what are you doing when the major things that are supposed to be put in place have not been done? So what kind of cleanup are you doing? You tell us, what kind of cleanup are you doing? Because the whole thing has been politicized, and the Ogoni people are still the victim. Have you seen why we said Ogoni people should open their eyes and know that we have enemies all around us? Because I'm telling you the truth, if it were to be a white man, he will ensure he follows the UNEP report to the letter. My people, Judge yourself. The first point I made when I say hide some, if you put something in the book to a black man, it's gone forever. You go and read the UNEP report. Go and read. Before you start defending, before you start attacking, go and read and get the knowledge, get the truth. What recommendations are there so you know where we are and where we are going. But in my own case, I know nothing is going on. Nothing is going on. And because our people are trapped in it, they can't say anything than to follow suit. It is a pity. It's a complete pity. I'll tell you the truth. It is a complete pity that the Ogoni people, we are supposed to benefit from something and we continue to be victims of it. Continue to be victims. Our people, there are unseen hands behind. And they are using them to withdraw. They are like ATM. They are withdrawing money. They don't go into the bank. You don't see them, but they are behind those that is at the front, and they are using them like ATM. They are withdrawing from outside, just withdrawing. But our people is in the banking hall. They are in the front of it. But there are people. Let me tell you, all those companies that vie for this thing. Ask all of them. They are the same corrupt people that brought out their companies, that don't have any history of cleanup. So this is the kind of game they play with Ogoni people. And we say an end of this must come. God will help us. We must help ourselves. Ogoni people, you have to be wise. Think of Ogoni people, don't think of yourself. Thank you and God bless you.